Welcome back. We are doing another perfume tray rotation video. This is a video I normally do whenever I change out my tray, my perfume tray. And I normally show you what I'm taking off the tray and talk about what I wore, how I wore it, how much I enjoyed it, etc. But this time round, I think I've changed up the tray a couple of times since the last time filming this, and B, this week, because I filmed a couple of other videos over the weekend for another platform, i.e. the TT one, my tray was not representative of what had been on there anyway. So it had already changed, and now it's changed again because I've deliberately chosen perfumes for the coming week or weeks, depending on how vigilant I am in changing them. The first one is Solar Blossom by Millesime. I'm sorry about the lighting too, by the way. This is a really gorgeous Solar Blossom scent. It's quite vanillic, it's quite sweet, it's quite fluffy. And I have always worn this in the cooler months. It's always been a cold weather scent for me. And I think the reason for that is just simply because I discovered this perfume in April of 2020. I had a sample of it and absolutely fell in love with it immediately. And, you know, the way things were in the world at that time, it was just such a bright, happy perfume. And I just really enjoyed wearing it, even though we were getting well into the colder weather at that time. So I've always associated this with being sort of a happy perfume to wear in the winter months. So that's Solar Blossom by Millesime. I can't remember if that was on the tray actually last time I filmed. It has been on here for a little while, and I'm keeping it on there because I'm really enjoying reaching for it. I don't reach for it all the time, but I like having it there to remind me to wear something happy every once in a while. The next one is one that I've had for a couple of years now. This is Narcisse Musc Noir. This is a really great perfume. As you can see by the hefty dent I have in this bottle, I have really quite enjoyed it. It's a good all-rounder perfume for me. I can use it as a base for other things. I can wear it on its own. It's a musky scent, yes, but it also has this lovely leathery tone to it, and it's not too sweet. I know everyone really loves the Musc Noir Rose. Is that what it's called? The rose one, anyway. The rose one is a lot sweeter, and I actually did buy a bottle of that about a year ago, and I ended up giving it to my stepdaughter because I just couldn't wear it. Anyway, so that is Musc Noir by Narcisse Rodriguez. A really, really great one for everything. The next one is actually a new bottle in my collection and might be a bit of a surprise to some. This is Comète by Chanel. I sampled this for a while, for a long time actually, before I decided to go and buy a bottle. I had a couple of samples, and then I got a decant, and I wore through the decant, and there is just something about it. You know, when I first tried it, I was really underwhelmed, and I thought, no, this is not going to be for me. And I don't know what happened, but you know, it happens all the time. We know what happens. Something just grabs you, and it usually is the ones that I don't love straight off the bat that end up being the ones that I kind of love the most. So this is just great. I wear it to work quite a bit. I like wearing it to bed as well because it's very comforting, and it's just a really pretty scent. Not my usual style. Anyway, again, it's just kind of a musky, fluffy scent. It's really pretty with that cherry blossom in there, and I think I alluded to this in a recent video, although I didn't name it, but this is a recent discovery of a cherry type perfume that I can get on board with, even though technically it's cherry blossom and not cherry fruit. But I don't know. I just really like it. It makes me happy, and I am wearing it. That is Comète by Chanel. Next up, we have Parisian Musc by Matière Première. I haven't worn this in a really long time, and normally I would gravitate towards this one more in the warmer months, but the Matière Première fragrances perform really, really well. And so in the colder weather, this will just stand up really, really well. It'll last me all day. And again, because I'm going into an office environment more and more these days. I just really like wearing fragrances that will stay with me for a little bit longer. They don't need to be announcing my presence to everyone in the office, but just something that I can smell throughout the day. It's an ambrette figgy fragrance and it's very clean smelling in my opinion. And I associate it with wearing, you know, button-up shirts and things like that. That's just kind of the vibe that it has. So that is Parisian Musc by Matière Première. The next one is a fairly recent new addition as a full-size bottle. I did buy a 15 ml of this last year and I went through that. I really love this perfume. This is Absolu by Trudon. So this is a new bottle. I don't even know if I've spritzed this yet actually. And it's an orange blossom fragrance that is quite green. It has this really interesting opening to it. It has this sort of aromatic green, almost like wintergreen type opening. And then that settles really nicely into a beautiful orange blossom that's quite fresh and again, a little bit green, a little bit woody. And this is a beautiful, beautiful orange blossom, but I do recognize that not everyone will love that opening because that wintergreeny kind of smell is quite unique. Next up is one that I think was on the tray last time I did this video as well. This is Melodie de L'Amour by Ducida Parfums. I've worn it a couple of times, but probably not as much as I would like to because even though I love this perfume, I still have not worn it so much that I would say that I really understand it very well. To me, this is couched as being a bit of a tuberose fragrance. I think there must be a little bit of gardenia in there as well. It's quite a little bit mothball-y as well in the opening, which some days is a little bit off-putting to me. I'm not going to lie. It's not something that I gravitate to easily, but on the days when I love it, I really, really love it. So I do just want to spend some more time with it. But I'm glad I bought the 15 ml and not the full bottle because I'm not sure I would actually get through a whole bottle of that, even though I am a white floral lover. And then finally, we have Shalimar Millesime Tonka. This is a bottle that was gifted to me by a friend, actually. A friend bought this for me in 2022. I actually probably went through most of that dent in the first couple of months that I had it, but in recent times, I treat it a little bit more with kid gloves because it is my favorite of the Millesime line, and it is one that I know that one day I'm not going to have it anymore and I'll be really sad because I do really, really love it. And I love Tonka Imperiale too, and I'm devastated that that's been discontinued. And in fact, I'm even more devastated because I have this older bottle and it's looking a bit messed up because I've had to cover it with Glad wrap because it's evaporating at a rate of knots. And so I've actually brought it down to this cupboard so that I can wear it more, because I figure I may as well wear it. If it's evaporating, I may as well enjoy it rather than losing it. But see how all this plastic, I put that on there super clean and it's just evaporating. So note to anyone who has these older style bottles that had the changeable screw tops where you could change the atomizers on them, just keep an eye on them and check them, because I thought I was going nuts when I saw it and I thought, is that level dropping? Has that level dropped? I didn't realize I'd used that much of it. And granted, I have used more of it in recent times because I am trying to make a note to wear it, but I'm really sad about that. It's devastating. So if anyone has any tips on how to make this less evaporative, I would be very, very grateful. All right, so that is Tonka Imperiale, which is not part of the lineup, but it kind of is because I'm also trying to wear it and use it up. And I do have a couple of others that I was thinking of adding as well. This is Nuit de Tubereuse by L'artisan Parfumeur. Eloise from Eloise Scents was talking about this not too long ago, a couple of weeks ago, I think, or maybe even last week. And I went, oh, I've actually got a bottle of that in my cupboard and I've barely ever touched it. So I'd sort of forgotten that I had it. And so I dug it out and I'm absolutely loving it. I'm really, really loving it. But it unfortunately doesn't fit on the tray at the moment. This is what happens when you've got too many perfumes, I think, is that you actually forget what you've got. And it was such a happy surprise to come across her video talking about it. So I dug it out and here it is. There you go. So that's Nuit de Tubereuse. And I will say it's quite an interesting tuberose. It's quite peppery and quite dry. For that reason, I think it's quite unisex and probably not as offensive as other tuberose perfumes can be, for want of a better term. And then one that I was wearing quite a bit for the last couple of weeks, which I'm about to put back into the travel size jar, is Add-ons by Diptyque. This is a really great sort of orange blossom scent that's quite green and has a very old school approach to the orange blossom, and I really, really love it. It's like the smell of the old orange blossom soaps that people would have, the fancy soaps that people would have in their bathrooms, you know. Anyway, I really like it. And the other two travel sizes that will go on the tray are Narcisse Taiji by Atelier Materi. This is a really beautiful, Narcissus. Narcissus, I don't know how you say it. I always want to say narcissist. It's a very aromatic kind of white floral, very crisp and fresh, and I absolutely adore it. And sometimes I like to wear these two together. This is Nuit Andalouse by MDCI. I love them on their own, but I also really love wearing them together. I don't know, there's something about those two going together that just seems to work really, really well. So these are also really great for work and for travel because they're not offensive in any way, and they're not too loud. They're quite transparent and translucent and airy. So if you're on planes or in close quarters with other people, you're not likely to offend anyone around you. I am traveling interstate this week, so these two will definitely be coming with me. So that is my messy perfume tray for this week. Let me know what you are wearing. I feel like I need to offset these a little so you can actually see what's on the tray. Yeah, let me know what you are wearing this week and what's really grabbed you. I'll tell you what else has really grabbed me in the last week, which I will add to the tray as well, even though it's kind of out of season. But I've been trying this sample of Piccola, I don't know how you say it, by Nila Vermeer. I've been going through a lot of the Nila Vermeer perfumes lately, and I'm just, oh man, it is so hard to make a decision. I mean, I don't have to buy a bottle of everything that I love, obviously, but trying to pick the one that I love the most out of her collection is really, really hard. So I'm definitely spending time with these samples to make sure that I make the right decision, because I don't want to buy loads and loads of bottles, but her perfumes really resonate with me, and they are ones that I do really enjoy wearing a lot. So watch this space. But this is a really bright, kind of a little bit green, sort of tropical and slightly sweet white floral. I think it is a tuberose dominant perfume, but there is other florals in there, and there's definitely kind of this happy, bright, sunny sweetness in there as well, which just reminds me of holidays, tropical holidays. And so I do feel like it's kind of the wrong time of year because A, I'm not on holiday, and B, it's winter. Not that those rules are hard and fast or anything like that, but there are certain perfumes that I prefer to leave and wear on holiday so that I get this really great holiday vibe. So I'm trying not to establish a scent memory with this one here at home, working, just doing normal day-to-day life stuff, because I would really, I'm probably going to wear that on a holiday towards the end of the year. We have a trip planned to Bali in a few months' time when it gets a bit warmer. We're doing a yoga retreat, which will be interesting because I haven't done any yoga for about 2 years now. So I think this will be coming with me, if not as a bottle. I'll probably just get a decant to take with me. Obviously, it's easier to travel with, but yeah, it's a really lovely, lovely perfume. Really enjoy it. All right, well, that's enough rambling from me. I'm sorry I didn't have a proper video this weekend. I actually have been working quite a bit, so I've just got a really big week this week, but hopefully next week I'll be able to pick up the filming again and give you a solid video. Anyway, have a great week, everyone. I'll see you in the next one.